and he strays over our way. You know what I mean? Cam Newton is standing on business. And he's very passionate about what he said about Jalen Hurts not being a top 10 quarterback. We got our brother Cam Newton, like I said. Cam Newton doubles down on his Jalen Hurts criticism, takes shots at Gilly and more. Can you quote any of his music? Man, but don't worry, we didn't catch any stray bullets or any strays over our way, you know what I mean? He mentioned that Say What Needs to Be Said responded to his top 10 debate, but that's all. He said we responded, that's all. But I think Cam Newton bit off more than he could chew on this one. For some reason, Cam wants to push the narrative into the NFL that some quarterbacks only have success because they are good game managers at the position. And he had the same energy for Brock Purdy, labeling Purdy as a game manager. I know y'all remember that a couple of seasons ago. That wasn't last season, but a couple of seasons ago, he had that same energy for Brock Purdy. You remember that, Dries?
Yeah, he said that. He named Dak in there too.
Yes, yes.
Named a few people.
Named a few people, which I disagreed with about Brock being a game manager. Then Cam tried to put Brock Purdy in the same sentence category as Tom Brady. And you know I went ballistic. Woo, I went ballistic. I responded back, don't you ever put Brock Purdy and Tom Brady name in the same sentence category, same atmosphere, whatever you want to think about. Do not put these same two individuals in the same category. And Cam backed off the Tom comments, right? But he never changed his stance on Brock Purdy. That's who Cam Newton is, man. Cam Newton said, man, well, he's not trying to be safe out here in this media world. Why not? Speak how you feel. Talk that, you know what I mean? Talk that shit.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna tell y'all the secret, what this is really about. You know, because we are all competitors at heart. And that never leaves, man. That never leaves. And Cam sees the quarterback position from his point of view, based on the hand he was dealt and all the obstacles he had to overcome to make the Carolina Panthers competitive, right? Y'all remember that? And Cam feels it's not fair that he didn't have the talented team some of these quarterbacks have, you know? Like when he refers to Jalen Hurts having such a talented team. But Cam still advanced to the Super Bowl, right? Still advanced his team to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, at this present moment, Cam still feels he is the better quarterback than some of these quarterbacks currently in the NFL.
No, I'm saying like he could take their job right now.
I don't know if he feels he can take their job. He just feels put him on one of these teams that is talented as, let's take, say for instance, Jalen Hurts' team, and he will win a Super Bowl multiple times, have a better record, better stats, so on and so forth. That's how he feels, you know? And Cam wants his point to reflect, if these quarterbacks are having this much success, he can do the same thing, right? And that's what he wants his point to reflect. Let's get into what Cam Newton had to say.
Quarterback you got to go through in the NFC to win the Super Bowl.
You do not need to go through Jalen Hurts.
Who do you need to go through?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Damn.
So since that we want to attack the messenger, Ryan Clark. Okay, let's pull up your stats. Second team All SEC, we cannot relate. Undrafted in 2002, we cannot relate. Won Pro Bowl in 2011, we cannot relate. People keep attacking Cam, the person, or why he didn't jump on the fumble, comparing and contrasting. So when I compare and contrast you guys' statistics and Dan Orlovsky, never mind. But the message here is Jalen Hurts. This has nothing to do with me hating. Eagles fan, this has nothing to do with me being bitter. This is just my thought process in evaluating quarterbacks. Let's make people debate about sports again. There's too many homeboys in the industry. There's too many insiders that are moved by relationships. Well, you're not talking about the person. You're more or less talking about their performance. And that's what I will talk about. Did you know, Peggy, Jalen Hurts only threw for 2,900 yards in the whole season.
Yeah, 2,903 yards.
Did you know that his former teammate at Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa, threw for 36 yards less? You know, the kicker in that is?
What is it?
Tua only played in 11 games. Baker Mayfield threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Justin Herbert's stats, 23 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So what are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? Cam hating on Jalen? No, that's not the case. He doesn't need to play elite for his team to be successful. They're not winning games solely on his performance. The elite guys is. He lacks nothing in the skilled department. But like I told him, team situation doesn't require you to showcase your individual talent. These guys that I put on the list are all valid. So stop coming for me as if I don't know this game of football.
All right, so let's get into it. I'm telling you, man, listen, Cam really wants to prove that he can still play football and lead a team to a Super Bowl. Better than some of these current NFL quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Cam Newton wants his shot right now to prove what he is saying and show everyone that he still can do it. I'm telling you, you know what I mean? I'm telling you. But Cam talked about plenty of quarterbacks and different stats of different quarterbacks, right? And Cam points out Jalen Hurts only threw for 2,900 yards and didn't have to play elite for his team while winning the Super Bowl. Right? Now, this is where Cam may be having a disagreement with everyone. Quarterbacks, specifically Jalen Hurts in run-heavy offense, right, are expected to fill in the missing pieces during competition to make their team become winner, right? Quarterbacks in run-heavy offense doesn't need to play elite all game.
A large sandstorm is approaching.
But when it's time to be elite and make the plays necessary for your team to win, or for the team to win, is when it's most important for the quarterbacks to be elite. You know,
Right.
from a quarterback standpoint.
I feel like that. that's where we got disconnect. I mean, I agree with Cam Newton of saying like, don't take the messenger, check the message. But it's times where I was at the game when they played Steelers. They held the ball for the last 12 minutes in the fourth quarter, and a lot of those times it was third and long, and Jalen Hurts complete the pass to keep the chains moving, to keep the clock going, and they literally held the ball for 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. Like that's like unheard of, but you're not going to see that stat by looking at how many yards he threw out the season. But that's a big deal of not letting the Steelers get the ball again ever in the fourth quarter. They had the ball for like a 3 and out, and that's it. That's something you don't see that. You don't see a team hit the ball for one possession in the fourth quarter, and that's where you get like disconnected of like, oh, he only threw for that. No, I've seen him complete third down after third down to keep the drive going.
Right. That is not a sexy stat that no one talks about at all. You never see anyone bring that up, the time of possession from the offense. And that's what we were so good at being for the Patriots and the New England Patriots. We were Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels, whoever was the offensive coordinator, they were so good at getting 2 and 3 and 4 yards and continuing to move the chains. And that's how you wear teams down, like I talked about in the last video. But, being able to make key plays during situational football is what's most important, especially to the quarterback. When I played for the Patriots, every Thursday, every Friday, we went over situational football, Not that fancy 400 yards per game crap, that leads you to nowhere, that leads the team to nowhere. That is cute and all, but it's fancy and it's cute, but it doesn't lead to nowhere unless you're making the key plays during situational football. Like many non-winning quarterbacks didn't make the plays in situational football, right? Mm-hmm. But because the quarterback play doesn't seem elite for the entirety of the game, doesn't mean that quarterback wasn't elite when he needed to be. That's the difference. Just because you're not elite or the quarterback isn't elite the entirety of the game doesn't mean he isn't elite when he needs to be during situational football.
Right.
I think that's where Cam is getting into a disagreement with everyone at, He wants the quarterback. You see, he brought up stats. And yeah, you usually bring up stats, but quarterback is the one position. Stats aren't the only evaluation to determine how great quarterbacks are. How many championships a quarterback wins is the most important stat for a quarterback, period. No one cares how unathletic Tom Brady was because he won championships. Now, everybody think about this. I always give you something to think about. If Brady never won a Super Bowl, he definitely wouldn't be considered one of the greats to ever play the position of quarterback. If Tom Brady never won a Super Bowl, he wouldn't be considered one of the greats to ever play the position at quarterback. But because Tom Brady was never considered this super talented quarterback, he had to win Super Bowls to be considered great. That's how it is for some players and things like that,
Mm-hmm. But I definitely do agree. That's why I feel like he didn't like respond to like anything you said or anything like that. Because he wasn't like coming at him as the player. We really talked the numbers and all that stuff. It is okay to disagree. Like you can have your opinion not being in the top 10, but this is how I feel, and I feel like that's the direction you went into. That's why King wasn't like right at like your neck or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Because we just talking numbers, like our opinion. Like it's okay to. That's the thing about sports these days. When people like put out their opinion, they want to attack the person. Like, well, you don't know this, you don't know that, man. We just saying that's how I feel. That's how you feel. It's okay to disagree. I mean, that's how, and y'all ain't gonna take out the interview.
But at the same time, Cam Newton knew 100% that him talking about the Super Bowl quarterback champion, Jalen Hurts, was going to garner a lot of attention. Being the fact that Cam Newton is a quarterback himself, and not only a quarterback, a quarterback that won the MVP, a quarterback that is a Super Bowl runner-up quarterback. So when he says something, everyone is going to listen. And Cam Newton knows that. He thought about that before he made this comment, you know?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens in the future, because in the first 4 years of starting, their numbers are like pretty similar, but Jalen Hurts got double the wins.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see, like, after his career is over, where will they stand, or like Cam change his mind or not.
Again, Tom Brady never won Super Bowls. Where would you have Tom Brady on your top 10 list of quarterbacks? Would he be on your top 10 list? Would he make it? I think no way. I don't know no one, maybe the people in Foxborough, maybe the people in Boston, but where would Tom Brady be on your top 10 list if he never won Super Bowls? I don't think anyone would even be talking about Tom Brady. He wasn't that athletic. He wasn't that flashy of a guy. He was just known to be a freaking winner.
Hello, it's your favorite sports donkey.
Cam Newton is standing on business.
Hello, it's your favorite sports dunk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Ocho, you think training camp stories would be the biggest NFL topic of the day? But that's not true. Cam Newton responded to Ryan Clark. Let's take a listen to what Cam had to say.
Hey.
We want to attack the messenger, Ryan Clark. Okay, let's pull up your stats. Second team All-SEC, we cannot relate. Undrafted in 2002, we cannot relate. Then you have one Pro Bowl in 2011, we cannot relate. So if you want to unlock Petty Cam, and everything that Cam Newton has ever said on this 4th and 1 show has always been backed by merit and logic, but some way, shape, form, people keep attacking Cam, the person, or why he didn't jump on the fumble, why he didn't do this, or comparing and contrasting. So when I compare and contrast you guys' statistics and Dan Orlovsky, never mind. But as we keep going and we keep unlocking and keep poking the bear, and y'all want to play this game.
Hey.
Go ahead, Ocho.
Ryan Clark and my brother Cam Newton, you know I love y'all. I love y'all to death. Let's keep it football. Let's keep it football. Let's stay away from the personal shots. Let's stay away from the personal shots. Like, I look up to y'all, especially in the spaces in which y'all dominate. Talking the game of football. Ryan Clark, you're the Einstein of this shit. You're the Einstein of this shit. Cam Newton, when it comes to playing the quarterback position, you are well equipped to be able to critique quarterbacks in this NFL that are playing today. Regardless of whether you won a Super Bowl or not, you played at a very high level. You're very successful at the position. Fellas, let's keep it clean. This ain't no boxing match. There's no need to get personal. There's no need to talk about each other in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Everyone loves the drama. They love that part. Let's keep it all about football. It's okay to have a difference in opinion. That's fine.
Yeah, that's Cam's opinion. Though I don't agree with it,
yeah,
that's his opinion.
Yeah.
I'm never going to talk about what someone did or didn't do. Look,
right.
We all had our time. Whatever Shannon didn't do, whatever Ryan didn't do, whatever Cam didn't do, whatever Ocho didn't do, ain't nothing we can do about it now. Because ain't nobody going back out there to get one more tackle, getting one more fumble recovery, catching a touchdown, getting another yard. There's nothing else we can do. I agree with you, Ocho. And sometimes we do get carried away. What we do is that we don't like the message, so we try to destroy the messenger.
Messenger, yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Ryan didn't agree with what Cam said. That's Cam's opinion. Cam looks at it like, look, I'm looking at it, and he has Saquon. He has 2 top 5 receivers. He has a very good tight end, plays the best offensive line in football, and is backed up by an outstanding defense.
Mm-hmm.
My only retort is there have been a lot of quarterbacks that had that.
Yes, sir.
And we never used that against them. But that's Cam's opinion. Yes, Cam, he had and has more to work with than you.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't diminish him because he has that. You don't believe because you said he has all these auxiliary, he has the latest and greatest. He has Apple. He has all this stuff when we,
right.
I'm saying, Ocho, we had the big brick phone. We had the Motorola.
Yes, sir.
We had the little bag that we had to carry around, and it was $3 a minute.
Yes, sir.
And then you had the roaming charge.
Mm-hmm.
So if you left the area, that thing was roaming.
Yes, sir.
I hate when it gets like this.
Yeah.
Because I believe Ryan could make his point. I believe Cam could make his point.
Right.
I don't.
But listen. I will say this. What Ryan and Cam doing, that is entertainment. That is pure entertainment. It's great. It's awesome, especially for the platforms.
If you're trying to grow your platform,
But no, they don't need to grow. They growing. They're gonna grow regardless, based on the individuals. What the pivot is doing, awesome. What 4th and 1 is doing, is awesome. So what I saw from them, from Ryan the other day, and
let me ask you a question. If under your logic, what do you think their most viewed topic is? What do you think Cam's most viewed topic is? What he had talked about, or the Ryan Clark?
It's probably gonna be this one. Yeah.
Okay, so the pivot? What you think their most viewed thing's gonna be?
Whenever Ryan fires back.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I'm
and what I try to get you to do is us to do is that we stay away from that.
Yeah, I tell you to stay away from that. Listen.
What you mean? I mean stay away from it? I stay away from it.
I'm on the fence. I'm always on the fence.
You ain't on no fence.
So listen. At times, there comes where we have to say your piece. You got to stand up with us. Now, we ain't just gonna have anybody just saying any old thing. Now, we can't do that. But I would never, and I want them, as fun as it may be, being able to pick at each other for wrongdoings, and there's certain things that happen that you can't change in the past. You just can't. I don't want them taking the personal shots at each other. I don't like that. Let's keep it football. Keep the topic football, and both of them are well versed enough in the sport itself where you don't have to go the other route. They probably ain't gonna listen to me anyway, but they're gonna do what they want to do. But still, that's just my.
But that's how it is. Your most embarrassing moment is probably what you're going to be most remembered for. They don't talk about Cam winning the MVP. They don't talk about Cam winning the Heisman. They don't talk about Cam. Think about it. Look at his team that won the Heisman Trophy. You tell me a team that had fewer NFL guys surrounding him than what Cam Newton team did when he won the national championship. I defy it. In the last 25 years, show me a team that won a national championship that had fewer NFL players than what Cam's Auburn team. I don't think he had a lineman to play. I think he might have had a receiver that played, had a cup of coffee. He had, I think, a defensive player to play. He didn't have, and I, like I said, just go back and look and see what Cam did. And look, I know, and Joe had outstanding numbers. And there have been other guys. You look at Tua won a national championship. There have been some guys that's won national championship. What's the guy? Matt Jones and last year. But you look at that Auburn team and you tell me they should have won a national championship with that few NFL talent. So Cam has been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been great.
You can't take that away from him. I mean,
no, but that's when he's looking at it, Ocho. It's kind of like you look at a receiver and you say, well, I like this receiver X, Y, and Z. People gonna find fault. Well, why didn't you pick this guy? If you take it serious and start worried about celebrations, ain't no telling what you could have done. You see, they're gonna nitpick because they don't like that you getting on somebody that they like. So what they try to do is try to destroy the messenger.
Right.
It's not the message; it's the messenger.
Yeah.
So if I like the message, if I like the messenger, I'll receive the message.
Yeah.
If I don't like the messenger, I won't receive the message.
Right.
And guess what? In the message, you know what? Now I'm gonna turn against you. I don't like who gave it to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Hey, them boy. Hey, what up?
Teddy bear.
Okay, Teddy Bear. They all look the same now.
Lay down.
Teddy Bear, get on camera, twin.
he lay it down. Hopefully he'll stay there. Yeah, it's tough, Ocho, because look, it's gotten to the point that people don't want us to do our job, Ocho.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing is that more people like us do this now. Yeah, it used to be a time there was only a handful of guys that did this. If you weren't on CBS, if you weren't on ESPN, you didn't have an opinion if you had retired because you didn't have a platform to share it if you weren't on those platforms.
Right.
Now there are more guys like you and myself that have platforms that are able to share their opinion.
Right.
See, it used to be, hey, you wanted guys that have played the game. Because before, Ocho, when I played, you played before, well, he ain't played the game. So how does he know? Now you get guys play the game. Now you get guys play the game at a high level. Now what's the excuse? You try to nitpick where you didn't win anything. Well, hell, I don't want everybody to win because if everybody won, that devalues winning. There should be a premium on winning championships, winning conference, winning the division, winning MVP. If everybody does those things, Ocho, what is the value in that?
Right. And hold on, wait. No, also, where's the value? Sometimes you just happen to be part of the team that actually won. You ain't even do nothing.
Yes, true.
There's an asterisk sometimes like value and all that winning. Oh, I got a ring. Well, yeah, you got a ring, but
yeah. All rings aren't created equal. Let's just start with that, and we understand that. But I'm not. Look, I've been very fortunate to be on shows with a lot of guys, and you know I'm very fortunate that I won at a high level. I won championships. I went to the Pro Bowl, went All Pro, and I got a gold jacket. But it's not like I wear it. I don't wear the rings. That's not. I honestly, Ocho, I try to give my honest opinion.
Right.
I understand what it takes to play this game at a high level. And it's not easy to be consistent, especially when they know you're the guy and they game plan for you. And you still have to find ways to make plays and make your presence felt. But people kill me all the time. I was like, okay, I'm not saying the guy is bad. I got to take one. And it's easy to say, I would take both of them. Hell, anybody can do that. That's not why they pay you money to get your ass on TV to say, I like to have them both. Pick one.
Oh, I got
That's
better
your
at that.
opinion.
I got better at that. I got better at that.
You absolutely have. But Ocho, they understand that you have a job to do. It's not like you dislike one. You're saying, based on me playing in this league for over a decade, me playing at the level in which I played, watching their games, I think this guy's a little better.
Yeah.
But see, people don't hear that. People saying, well, you like him, you hate that. Ocho like mangoes. Man, Ocho hate bananas. He hate oranges. He hate watermelon. No, bro, I said I like mangoes. I didn't say anything about hating the other fruit.
I've been listening. And for me, what I've gotten very savvy at, which I've been very good at, is my delivery. It's not what I say. It's not what I say. It's how I say it.
Yes.
I've matched that a little bit to soften the blow because our players during this era, during this day, they're very sensitive on. They're very sensitive.
They are.
So I've learned how to navigate in saying things the right way, where it's not offensive to them. Now this year, now that I got my feet wet, so I understand now. I'm gonna be a little bit more upfront with people's play when it doesn't look like it should look.
You should.
Yeah.
Ocho, I mean, look, It's not like you're a bum, because they said they wanted people that played the game to critique the game. Okay, we're giving them guys that played at an extremely high level.
That's me.
To critique the game.
That's me.
Yes. But what happens is they know they can't run no bull jive on us.
No.
Because we did play the game for an extremely long time, and we did play at a high level. So now what are they going to say?
Right. You're right.
Oh, man, Ocho, you didn't win no. Okay, no, I did not win at a high level. But just because I didn't win, that doesn't mean I wasn't a damn good player.
Hold on now. I ain't win no ring, but I won.
Well, I'm saying that's what they're looking at. Cincinnati. But here's the thing, though, Ocho. You went to Pro Bowl. You were an All-Pro. So somebody had to vote on those awards.
Hold on.
They thought enough of you to send your ass to Hawaii. They thought enough of you to be an All-Pro.
And I led the AFC 4 years in a row. And y'all, all while talking shit, while they were game planning for me. That was me.
But you know what has happened, Ocho? It doesn't matter how many great things you say, they only heard the bad.
Yeah.
They only hear the bad.
Yes, sir.
Bro, I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm saying you had a bad game. I'm saying you had a bad stretch. So am I not allowed to say what I see?
Right.
People that understands that X has a job to do. He's doing his job. He's not talking about me as a individual. He's talking about me, the player, and my play on the field. You need to be able to differentiate between you, the player, and you, the off the field person.
Right.
I'm critiquing your play. Drop passes, lack of effort, terrible route, things of that nature. Getting blocked, not getting off the block, poor technique, in the backfield staring at the quarterback too long as opposed to the guy that's running the route. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about you as a individual. We're talking about you, the player.
Right.
I get it. Cam ain't gonna let nothing slide. Cam ain't gonna let nothing slide. So y'all come for Cam. Y'all already know. Duck, cause the grenade coming back.
Yeah.
He gonna pick it up and throw it. He gonna pick it up and throw it back.
Hold on. Ryan gonna fire it back, man.
Yeah.
Ryan gonna fire it back, man. So this is going to be an ongoing feud, which is entertaining. This is great. This is great entertainment. This is great for the pivot. It's great for 4th and 1. It's great for all parties involved. Listen, I'm on the sideline enjoying it and tell them, y'all, go to your corners, go to your respective corners.
Right.
Keep it about football.
Yes.
Training never started.
Yes, because Cam is looking at it is that he was asked to do more.
Right.
Because he didn't have a running back like Saquon, he didn't have an offensive line what they have, and he didn't have 2 receivers like Devontae and AJ. Yes, Cam, you were asked to do more. But because you were asked to do more, that doesn't mean Jalen isn't a good quarterback.
Right. I mean, he's
a top 10. Now, if you want to say he's top 5, okay, fine. We can debate that. But a top 10 quarterback, I can't jive with that one.
Yeah. I mean, listen. What I said it before when we talked about it the other night. What Jalen Hurts is asked to do for the Philadelphia Eagles, he does extremely well. What Jalen Hurts is asked to do within the confines of that offense, he does extremely well. People complain. Well, and I said it. The way they play offensively is not aesthetically pleasing. He's not putting up Lamar Jackson numbers. He's not putting up Baker Mayfield numbers. He's not putting up Joe Burrow numbers. That's not the way that offensive scheme works. It's not the way it works. You do
realize it's hard to play the way he plays because he has to check his ego. Because he makes $50 million a year, and now I've got to swallow my ego because I know people on talk radio and I know people on television is going to say Jalen Hurts couldn't do it. And look, my thing was I was saying he's going to have to play better than what he's playing. He was turning the ball over at an alarming rate. He was, and and he was playing bad. You look at the postseason when it hit, he played better than at any point in time. And that's okay. But to say I grade game to game, and that's what you love about sports.
Right.
Because you get to update your resume each individual week.
Every week.
It's not like like, Ocho, my resume good. They say update your resume every 6 months in the real workforce. But that's not how it is in pro sports. You update your resume every single week if you play a weekly sport. Now, if you play basketball, you update that mofo every night.
Yeah.
You play baseball, it's the same thing. You understand that. But people that like, oh, you said pro, I got a new set of facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when Jalen Hurts was throwing for 100 yards, did he look like what he looked like in the Super Bowl? Did he look like what he looked like in the NFC Championship game? No. Come on now. Y'all want to hold, he's playing yes, he played better. When he played better, we spoke better about it.
Yeah. Hey, when everybody goes in training camp, right? Every team that reported this week on the 22nd, on the 19th, whatever it may be, what is the end goal for every team that went to training camp this week? They want.
They say Super Bowl. Some of them fooling themselves. Some of them know damn well they ain't got no chance to win the Super Bowl. But lie. Sometimes don't show you that. My coach say, you got to lie to them. But college coach say, hey, home. Sometimes I got to lie to y'all.
Hey, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, they got a legitimate chance. Absolutely.
They got a legitimate chance to go back again. With the exact quarterback that Ryan and Cam are talking about. They have a chance to go back again.
Yes.
And and knowing Howard and knowing Mr. Lurie, they might have a chance to go back a third goddamn time.
Yes.
The owners, it starts at the top. They mean business.
Yeah.
They not talking. They actually mean business. Mm-hmm. And they put their wallet. Man, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah. I mean, look, sometimes Ocho, going to a great franchise is just like sometimes being born into a great family. You ain't do ish. You just happen to be born to a family that's worth hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. He went to a great franchise. They took, look, he was second round pick. They had just gave Carson Wentz over $100 million.
Yeah.
So give Howie Roseman some credit.
Yeah. I have a question.
Give Jalen Hurts some credit that he went there, kept his head down. It's like when the opportunity presented itself, he took full advantage of it, just like he did at Alabama. And after Tua came in and got the job from him, he went to Oklahoma and played extremely well and played himself, because had he stayed at Alabama, he wasn't going to be a second-round pick. No. He had to show that he could throw the football. He did that when he went to Oklahoma. Kudos to him.
Right. I got a question.
Yes.
Hey, can y'all hear me, Chad? I know y'all looking at me real quick. I'm just throw a hypothetical out there real quick.
Okay.
If you were to switch owners, right?
Yes.
If you were to take Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie and put them on the Cowboys and put Jerry Jones in Philadelphia, how many Super Bowls would the Cowboys have right now?
With Jerry Jones?
If you take Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman and you give them the Cowboys.
Oh, they won, multiple, yes. And the Eagles wouldn't be nowhere near the playoffs. It wouldn't nowhere near the Super Bowl. Absolutely.
Okay.
See, the difference is Jeffrey Lurie, you don't realize how good you could be if you don't care who gets the credit.
Same-day delivery and text a personal shopper for last-minute additions. Just tap Target.
Yo, this is one of my favorite interviews I think I'll ever do. We got two-time Super Bowl champ Lane Johnson, former teammate of the one and only Shady McCoy, former teammate of myself. Y'all, he needs no introduction. Five-time All-Pro, All-Thing Pro Bowl. Shady, you kick it off, man, and you kick it off.
I had the pleasure to play with this young talented dude. Now, when I had him, he had all that beard and all that. You know what I'm saying? But Lane Johnson, one of my favorite teammates, probably one of the best offensive I've ever played with. Lane Johnson has arrived on the facility. What's up,
man?
brother?
Thanks for bringing me in, man. Yeah, no, getting ready for camp, and just a few weeks away, so it's coming on as fast.
Hey, Lane, let me start it with this. Y'all won the Super Bowl this year. Y'all went to the Super Bowl and lost in 22. You won the Super Bowl in 2017. What's the difference between this Super Bowl championship team versus the Super Bowl championship team in 2017 when you won it the first time?
I mean, I think a lot of it goes down to like turnover. You're going to lose a lot of guys to free agency and just trying to fill that void. But I just noticed going into that next season that you're going to get everybody's best shot. So we're getting prepared for that. I think we got like 11 playoff teams on the schedule. So, we got to get our mind right. Or that's really what it goes down to, getting focused up because you're going to get everybody's best shot.
The secret I would suggest to the Philadelphia Eagles is Stout. Jeff Stoutland, O-line coach. I believe you're a Hall of Famer. Jason Kelce, a Hall of Famer. Jason Peters, a Hall of Famer. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but I played with all y'all. How good is and what makes Coach Stout the secret ingredient to the Philadelphia Eagles' success? What makes him so good?
He's so consistent. I think he knows how to push and motivate his players. And I feel like he's just a great teacher, not only in football, but just in life. And I feel like he gets the most out of his guys. But, I just think his consistency. I mean, he hasn't really changed since y'all have been in the building. He's been the same vibrant soul that he's always been. But, he's just consistently the same person every day. And, it doesn't matter what you've accomplished. He treats everybody the same. And it doesn't matter if you're a backup. You should be preparing like you're a starter. So I think that's why we've been successful all these years with all these different guys in the lineup.
Now, since we talk about Coach Stout, I think the conference game you guys played Commanders, right? And before the game, I'm talking to him. I said, listen, I need to know, right? How the hell are you guys blocking better than J.C. Kelce just retired a year ago? And he gave me a whole stellar answer. You know how he is. I said, I can't use that on TV. So I want to ask you, Lane, tell me that. How the hell can you guys lose Kelce and then you guys are even better blocking unit the next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, there's not like an individual that can replace Kelce, like all his traits that he had, like identifying the defenses, like his ability at the second level. But I think like adding Makai in there last year and having a guy who has like elite tackle length playing at guard, he just made a transition, I think, replacing Kelce with Cam and having Makai there. I just felt like it helped so much just with really pass block protections. But we just had a lot of big guys, man. I'm like the second smallest dude on the line, and I'm 6'6", 325. So we just had some big. Jason Peters used to call him the heavy Chevy, so we had a lot of heavy Chevys last year. But it's really one of the biggest lines that I've been a part of. So that always helped.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was out there with Charles Woodson. He said, Shady, this is the biggest offensive line I've ever seen ever. My next question I want to ask you, though, is now, all the success we talk about, right, the Saquon stuff going on, A.J. Brown doing great things, best wide receiver in football, in my opinion. You got quarterback getting hurt, falling out. But you guys win a championship, now it's the next year. What do you think is super important for you guys to get back to that level of winning another championship? Back-to-backs are extremely hard to do.
Yeah, like I said, we have a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces. So I just think building like continuity in camp and really like taking advantage of the joint practices that we have. And so, week one, we come out firing. But, really, I think we have, good leadership. It doesn't necessarily have to be an older guy, but, a lot of young guys taking initiative, being more vocal. And so, I think we have a lot of players that are mature beyond their years. You look at the cornerback situation with Q and Coop. So I just think we have, a lot of talented guys, but it takes a lot of cohesiveness, and you got to build that during training camp and in the early part of the weeks or early part of the season. I would say, I think it's huge in getting the momentum of the season going right. They're really like the first 4 or 5 games. So.
Well, Lane, before I hit you with the tough questions, like who would you rather block for, 2'5" or 2'6"? My first question for you is, who do you lose sleep over at night, if anybody? Like, if you had to block a Micah Parsons or a Myles Garrett, which one of them dudes, or maybe a guy we don't know that's keeping you up at night that you got to prepare for? Oh, I know this answer.
Yeah, I mean, any of those names, I'm sleeping, one eye open at night. You got one of those guys. Man, I mean, those guys get your attention, but I'd say, like, probably the most underrated guy that I went against was Olivier Vernon. So you can ask all the guys, JP, Trent, Tyron. If they say there was one guy that could turn it on, low key, it was Olivier Vernon. So shout out to OV wherever he's at. He gave everybody a hard time. So.
Really quick too though, so because you know Shady and Saquon Barkley are different backs. Shady can make you miss on the dime, make you miss in the phone booth, cut something back, and you know get busy. Saquon more downhill, does have good vision too, maybe a little bit more speed. What's the difference between blocking for a guy like Shady and blocking for a guy like Saquon?
Shady talked a lot more trash. Yeah, he talked I remember this is my first game ever. We're playing, you know, the Commanders now, the Redskins at the time, and I remember being in the end zone warming up, and some fan was waving the Redskins flag in front of Shady. He went over there and was doing this, and then went over there and grabbed that flag and took it and started stomping on it. Then it was like 31-3 at halftime. Man, I was like, man, we about to win a Super Bowl that year. And I was like, hey. And I remember JP going, I've never seen somebody talk so much trash and then go out there and go back it up every time. And I was like, hey, I ain't seen it like that either. So definitely a lot more trash talk with Shady. But both elusive. You know, both, you know, with me, I knew that I had, you know, anytime they touched the ball, they had a chance to go to the house. So I think one of the best moves I saw Shady make was the Tennessee game. Titans on the left sideline. I don't know what you did. You broke him off, and it looked like hot sauce on the and one mixtape. So that was one of the best runs I remember from Shady.
Hey, Lane, obviously last year it ended as great as it could end, but what would you say was the hardest part of last season for the team?
Ooh, let's see. I mean, the Atlanta game was tough. Just having a game that we thought we should have won. But yeah, I just think probably the hardest game was the Rams game. I feel like they really, you know, it could have gone either way on that one. So really tough matchup. But yeah, I mean, I would say like through all the Super Bowls, like the feeling of losing one is like a more of an emotional thing than winning one. So, you know, I'll never forget that. That motivates me. But yeah, everything went right last year. It was fun. And
but you know what's crazy though?
Quickly moves on.
Before everything went right in the middle of the season, it looked like things were gonna go wrong. Because you got AJ Brown, he's reading books in the locker room after. We all been in that, well, me and Shady, you being in that locker room. He just says, hey, what's the issue? Passing. And then that turns into a whole firestorm.
Yeah.
How did y'all right the ship? And who's the leader of the team on offense? Because when I was there, you could have said it was Vic. You could have said it was Foles. You were still a young bull at the time. JP, but he didn't really talk too much. He just hit us on the head before we walked out onto the field. So who was the leader? Who's the leader on offense?
I mean, Jalen, Jordan's very vocal. You know, I get vocal sometimes, but I mean, a lot of that stuff like you see on camera, we'll go address it in the team meeting like the next week, or we'll do, you know, a lot of the older guys, we'll go meet with coach and we'll talk about it in the room. So all that stuff that's seen in the media that can cause an issue or has caused distractions, we've all talked about it and try to overcome it as man. But I think it's, you know, when you have so many dynamic playmakers and they feel like, you know, yeah, if we did throw the ball 50 times a game, AJ would probably, you know, have the most receiving yards every year. And it's like, but you have Saquon in the backfield too, so how are you supposed to meet the demands of all these guys? So there is no right or wrong way, but it is hard to manage, and so that was something we had to work on last year, you know, mid-season.
So y'all had a meeting after that passing quote, y'all had a meeting after that locker room incident, and like y'all addressed it as a team internally?
Yeah, I mean, so we'll have like the leadership group, so a few of the select guys. So I don't know if it was necessarily after that game, but any like moments that cause distraction amongst the team, yeah, we talk about it usually within the next week.
That's good though. I mean, obviously it worked out. You guys won the championship, and I do think that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the best thing about Nick is that he's a very good communicator, and so nothing is left, you know, for the team to discuss. It's all, you know, we all talk about it amongst each other, so which is good or bad.
Yep. I got two quick questions for you. One is just speak about Nick for a second, and then my next question is I want you to think about this. It's more personal. It's answer the one with Nick first.
Hello. Add your Starbucks favorites to any drive-up order. Just tap Target.
Yeah, I mean, Nick's, you know, I think he's evolved, you know, as he's become a head coach. You know, there's things, you know, he had some vocal stuff on the sidelines, but, you know, he's addressed stuff with the team when he's wrong, and I think that makes him human, makes him vulnerable, and I think it makes guys, you know, communicate more effectively with him. So, you know, with everything, I think he's always seeking like good guidance. So usually when we have guys come and speak to the team, it's really worthwhile and you learn a lot of good lessons. But And he's very passionate, and
Yes, he is.
you know, he's a competitor, and so, you know, I think we all realize that with him, and that's what gets us motivated.
Yeah, I love Nick. I mean, for me, just knowing him personally, and then all the players talk extremely highly about him. This one here is personal for you, from me. I want to know this, man. How do you stay elite? Because I remember at the height of my career, one thing I do regret is I took it for granted. Like, first teams and all that, all pros, and it becomes easy, right? And then you can lose it so fast. So how do you stay motivated to be one of the top tackles in the game over and over and over again?
And I'm a creature of habit. Like, if I'm not working out or training, like something I've been doing since I've been 17 or 18, I feel like, you know, I'm getting out of line, or I'm not, you know, I'm going to fall off. So I just think, man, it's that fear of somehow, like, I'm not reaching my potential has always motivated me. But yeah, man, I stay pretty secluded in the off season, man. I'm low key. I have a gym that's close to the house, so I'm usually up there training, working with high school kids, college kids. But you know, everything I do, I try to evaluate. You know, was I better than I was in previous seasons? How's my mobility? How's my strength? Stuff I need to work on. So, you know, I'm just constantly evaluating myself. And I think, you know, as an older player, a lot of guys, you know, maintain their strength, but you can lose mobility. So, like, a lot of me is working on mobility, staying limber, staying where, you know, I can be explosive. And it's, you know how it is, man, when you get in your 30s, ankles and knees start creaking and cracking. So, man, it's, you know, I have some bad days too.
Lane, my last one here for you, and I'm really not too proud to ask this question right now because my team, the Packers, started the vote. So really two questions. What you think about them trying to get the tush push up out of there? And what in the world do y'all do, and why are y'all so dominant at this tush push?
And we were 2 votes away from it being out. But yeah, I mean, it's a play that, you know, I think it's really hard on the center and both guards. Like, the tackle does, you know, Jordan's better at it than I am still on the backside. But yeah, I mean, it's just the quarterback sneak. I never thought this play would come to such a big, like, debate stage that it has. But yeah, I mean, it was one of these things that just slowly snowballed into something the past, like, 3 or 4 or 5 years. And, you know, Kelsey was really good at it. I think just how we attacked it. And just, I think, again, it goes down to the size of the guys we have inside. Like, Landon was 350, 360. Mackay's around there. Jordan's 360, 380. Depends on where he's at. But we just have some big dudes, man. That's really what it goes down to.
Hey, Lane, real quick, Lane. If I was on that team, because they don't believe me. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe me, but they don't believe you. If I was on that team and I was having a year that Saquon was having, and we talking about we doing tush push on the 1 yard, like, how would I have behaved in there, Lane? What?
I had to get a fire. I just had to carry a fire extinguisher. I had to put you out sometimes.
You taking 10 touchdowns from me, and I get the all-time leading rusher record, and you say I can't do it? Man, okay.
Lane, let me ask you this one, bro. 12-year career, 3 Super Bowl attendances, 2 Super Bowl championships. We remember when you got drafted, literally. What's your greatest memory thus far with the Philadelphia Eagles in all 12 years?
Good question.
I mean, there's not like the first time winning, and I think just because, like, all the injuries we had and, you know, Nick coming into that moment, and it was just, you know, something that we weren't expected to do, but, you know, that season, and then just really, you know, I remember being a rookie and I'm in the huddle and I got Michael Vick in there, I got Deshaun Jackson, I got LaShawn McCoy. I felt like I was in Madden, you know, Madden 13, Madden 14. It was, you know, something that you grew up watching these guys on TV, and the next thing you know, you're in the huddle, you're in the locker room with these guys. So probably my biggest regret is not getting autographs, jerseys. Like, I don't have the shady. I don't have anybody.
I'm gonna send you
anybody's jersey. Hey, I ain't got nobody's jersey. So hey, that's my biggest regret, man. Over these years, I ain't done a whole lot of collecting. So
hey, last question before I ask about everything you got going at Cosm and with the O-Line Mastermind Summit. Jalen Hurts, people are highly critical of him. At this desk, we've been critical of him because he's not a traditional quarterback. He doesn't drop back and pass for 30 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns a season. I think the most he's had is 23, 24, but he's been to 2 Super Bowls, including winning one in like the first 5 years of his career. What does Jalen Hurts do best?
Skipping breakfast wasn't a big deal before.
I got you.
But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits, like the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for a buck? Gotta be Wendy's.
I think his personality and how he handles just the brashness of, how Philadelphia can be. I think he's the perfect even keel temperament that we all need, in the locker room, coaches. I think he does a good job of, handling every situation. I thought he's always been the same guy from when he was a rookie to, where he is now. So, I think I had the most respect for him because I see how he works every day. People see sound bites and clips from interviews, but they don't see what that guy's doing before practice, the work he puts in after practice, the day-to-day stuff. And I know y'all can relate. Y'all know different teammates y'all played with and putting in time. He's one of those guys, so I respect him. And hey, man, I laugh at him sometimes. I love how he handles the media and how some of the sound bites. He's very entertaining and he's very funny when he wants to be. So there's a lot of depth to Jalen that some people don't see.
Hey, lastly, we all love Cosm here. Shady and I were at Cosm in LA about 2 weeks ago for a Matrix premiere. Shout out to all the people at Cosm. You have your 8th annual Offensive Line Mastermind Summit, July, I think 10th to 11th. Talk to the people about what you got going on with the offensive line at Cosm in Dallas.
Yeah, so basically we're getting all the top pro guys. Deion Dawkins, Tristan Wirfs will be there. Hall of Fame guys will be there. Baselli, Will Shields, but basically, we're getting college guys. A lot of the top guys in the draft will be there, and we're just talking ball. How to approach the NFL lifestyle, the training, the off-the-field stuff, and so you just get, years of wisdom, with some of the guys that you get in the room, and so, it started off like 27 people. I think there was close to 300 last year, and so shout out to Duke Manyweather, my partner, for getting this thing rolling. Portillo's are going to be feeding us there at Cosm this year. So, basically I didn't have this outlet whenever I was coming into the league. I was new to the position. I really didn't have any understanding of who played, who was who, how they did things. And so, I think this is just giving a lot of people a lot of valuable time from people that have played, a long time in the league.
Lane, how many more years you want to play? 12 at a high level, 5 All-Pros, 6 Pro Bowls. How many more you got?
I signed for 2, so let's see. 2 will put me in 15 or 14, so that'd be good. But it's one of those things like, I physically feel good, but there's also more to life than football. There's family, there's friends, there's life to live that y'all have gotten a chance to do. So I may see what that's about, but right now, man, I'm feeling good for 2. So until then,
real quick, Lane, you always be my guy. Play, I'm not saying play till you can play no more, but play till you're ready to go. Because once you're done and you hang them up, you can't go out and get them back and put them back on. Don't work like that.
Yep. No, I understand that, man. I had a lot of good conversations with some of my ex-teammates, and, man, they all say the same thing. So, hey, I'm thinking about it.
Hey, real quick, I don't know if Howie told you, but, JP, they about to sign him back. Did he tell you?
Hey, come coach me.
Hey, that's one of the best that's ever done it and probably will ever do it. That's Lane Johnson, 5-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 6-time Pro Bowler. The list goes on and on. Future first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm speaking it into existence as we speak. Lane, you the man, bro. Best of luck, bro.
All right, brother.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.
For all of the above, it's back to school at Target.
2-5, Nick Sirianni. He just got a contract extension.
Yeah, he deserves
That's your man's. Is it fair to say that Nick Sirianni is the best coach in the NFC?
Hey, Nick, and I apologize, Nick. I'll make sure I text you later today, and congratulations on that new contract, because you did earn that thing.
Yes,
okay? This is an easy one, right? Because we can live in the past, all these different coaches and all that. But we live in today right now, absolutely. He's the #1 coach in the NFC. Ooh. I mean, if you just look at his track record, right, and this is an easy one. I don't have to really rag too much, but all he does is win. At his worst, there's some teams at their worst, they might lose games, might not go to the playoffs, right? Not him. At my worst, I'm going to the playoffs. I don't have to talk about it because you can see it. Overall, he's 54-23 overall record. Super Bowl champ. He's been there twice. two-time NFC champs. That's what he does. He's 40-20 overall 4 years. In the playoffs, he's 6-3. I just don't know what else I can say about him. And the sad thing is, he's just getting started. This might be the worst we see in Nick Sirianni because he's going to go back again. And these next 3 years, you telling me we ain't going to 2 NFC championship games in the next 2 years? Next 3 years? Talk about it.
It's going to be tough.
Right?
Tough to argue with you.
We look at a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who, when he came into the league, most people didn't think much about him. At Alabama, you were really, really good. You were that good that you got benched in the biggest game of your career in college. Okay? Then you move on to Oklahoma, right, to see how that thing worked out. You didn't go first round. You went second round. You came to Philadelphia when they already had a really good quarterback, right? And I don't know how that was going to work out, but it was a lot of controversy. Nick Sirianni came through and developed this quarterback. With all these different coordinators, it's hard to do that. And my real estate business, I always tell people, I want to stick with the guys I know. I want to stick with my contractors. I want to stick with my painters because I know that who they are. I don't want to have, and I always relate this to football, I say I don't want to have a new coach every game, a new coach every year, a new coordinator every year. They had it in Philadelphia. And the same thing that happened, the same results. We win, and we go to the playoffs, and we go to the Super Bowl. So, I'm going to keep it real short, fellas. Real short. Nick Sirianni is the best coach in the NFC.
It's hard to argue. I'm not going to argue.
Please don't argue that.
I'll suggest this. I think Nick Sirianni is the best coach in the NFC because even if it's debatable, because Sirianni won the Super Bowl most recently, he's got to get the edge. The biggest indicator to me that Sirianni is the best coach in the NFC is what I love the most. He won a Super Bowl with the quarterback he inherited. We haven't seen that happen since Peyton Manning, Gary Kubiak in 15, and Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, 2011. The quarterback you inherited. All these other coaches winning Super Bowls with quarterbacks they handpick. Sean McVay. I have a #1 overall pick in Jared Goff. No, I don't like that Mercedes-Benz. I want the Rolls Royce in Matthew Stafford. You even think about Kyle Shanahan. Though he hasn't won a Super Bowl, he's been to Super Bowls. 3 different quarterbacks he handpicked. Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. You think about Bruce Arians. Obviously, he won a Super Bowl with the quarterback he handpicked, who just so happened to also be Tom Brady. Zach Taylor, he got to handpick Joe Burrow, didn't win a Super Bowl, but went to a Super Bowl. Not only has Nick Sirianni gone to a Super Bowl, but he's won a Super Bowl with the QB he inherited. Yeah. Doug Peterson and company acquired Jalen Hurts. I inherited you, Jalen Hurts, and I won a Super Bowl with you. That, to me, it speaks the most. But also, you can knock Sirianni for not calling plays and not dictating X's and O's. But to me, Chase, the most important thing is how he keeps the train on the tracks. Yeah. Like, when I really think about the fact of whether you know this team well or don't know this team at all, clearly the people at the top don't all see eye to eye on everything. Yeah. Most importantly, one of the most polarizing and divisive figures you could suggest in the country, Saquon Barkley, spending all the time in the world with President Trump, and notably the quarterback, along with the 2-star receivers, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, didn't go to the White House. So just by nature of one of the most polarizing figures who some befriend and others stay away from, and you keep them on the same track with the same goal, winning the same Super Bowl. Yeah. To me, Sirianni's ability to galvanize a team speaks volumes. That's why he's the best.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough conversation because it's not easy at all. Nick Sirianni has been special. He's been special in Philadelphia. And then not only that, one of the biggest markets, he's going to take a lot of heat, even if you lose 2 games in a row and still make the playoffs in Nick Sirianni. But I got to go with Sean McVay. And I earned a lot of respect for Sean McVay as a coach these last 2 years, right? You lose Aaron Donald, and your roster really is not built to go chase championships or even really built to get to the playoffs. We were all talking about the Rams like they're in a rebuild situation, right? You lost a lot of players, F them picks and all that. You did get a Super Bowl out of it. And Sean McVay said, hold on, I'm still a mastermind at this thing. I still have a really good quarterback in Matthew Stafford. And he took some really, really young rosters to the playoffs. And a lot of these games he wins, we can point at him and say, yeah, that was because Sean McVay. Yeah, that was a great call by Sean McVay. I knocked Sirianni a little bit, and I apologize, because he doesn't do any of it. And it might not be fair, but he doesn't call plays. He doesn't do any of that. So I give Sean McVay the edge on that, and he's been to NFC Championship games, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he's won a Super Bowl, and he's still getting to the playoffs consistently with young rosters. I put Sean McVay as the best coach in the NFC right now. That's my vote, but it is very, very, very close, man. Listen to y'all almost out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to argue that he's certainly one of the best.
That's inarguable.
To say, to say he's the best, I don't know. Like, I would say, and I put him in a tier of similar, like-minded coaches that include Sean McVay. I look at the head coaches in the NFC similar in tiers, and here's the 6 guys that made my tier: Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, Kyle Shanahan, Nick Sirianni, all for different reasons. Like and this is not in order, so don't freak out. I don't have Dan Campbell number 1. However, it's an alphabetical order. And when you look at the success that Nick Sirianni's had this season, think about it. They started 2-2, then won 16 out of the last 17 games. And that was hard on Nick Sirianni when they started 2-2. Rightfully so. There were some strategic mishaps, right? You get that sometimes as a CEO type coach. But what's fascinating to me, and where I think he's really blossomed as a head coach, is he's done it with different coordinators. I think the smartest thing he did last year was hire Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio to oversee the offense and the defensive side of the football.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Maybe it's you.
Drive up that's ready when you are. Just tap Target.
More importantly, he kept the team together through a lot of tough times, because we had a lot of topics on this show about the Philadelphia Eagles. The drama incidents last year include A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline. We went crazy for that. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith calling out the passing game. Remember with that? The Jalen Hurts, well, what's the problem? It's passing. Remember Brandon Graham saying things have changed between Hurts and Brown during a radio interview. Sirianni yelling at Eagles fans, shaving his head. Browns and Hurts beefed up on the sideline game in week 2 of 2023. There's been a long road to get here. And a CEO-type coach is supposed to galvanize a team, is supposed to keep a team together, because the Eagles have a lot of big-name personas, of course. And when they have that, you have to have a head coach that can handle all the different personalities and personas, and all this stuff on the outside seemed like it was a huge deal and would derail their season. And what did the Eagles do? They won a Super Bowl. So he's without a doubt one of the
Because of sports television, I'm going exactly where you're going. Because of sports television, let me derail this conversation, Chase, and obviously in a respectful manner. I think it is disrespectful to include a guy I spent time with off of the football field, Kevin O'Connell, in the same conversation as Coach of the Year. Sure. Coach of the Year. I think it's disrespectful to include, and a Coach of the Year, which I voted, by the way. Yeah. I voted for Kevin O'Connell for Coach of the Year, and I do not think that Kevin O'Connell is the coach that Nick Sirianni is. I think it's disrespectful to include Dan Campbell in the same conversation as Nick Sirianni. Reason I would suggest 2 Super Bowl appearances, obviously, for Nick Sirianni. Super Bowl win for Nick Sirianni. Dan Campbell's gone to an NFC Championship game, I believe, once. He's been there for 4 years, obviously. Shout out to what he's done. Kevin O'Connell has never won more than 2 playoff games. I think he's won 1 playoff game in the entirety of his tenure. Shout out to Kevin O'Connell and what he's done with his Nick Sirianni should, I believe, only be in a conversation with Sean McVay. And if you want to include Kyle Shanahan, of which I would include because I'm partially admitting my bias, if you want to include Kyle Shanahan, who's also been to 2 Super Bowls, include that. But I don't. I like Kyle. But he can't sit there and say they won't talk to us like that. You good? You're good. You're a winner, though. And the thing I love about Nick Sirianni is he didn't get that shot, right? When he signed for the Eagles, nobody was like, oh my God, we got one. Nobody said that. Yeah. But when Kyle Shanahan came in there, they was excited because of his history and his family. Yep. And then even Sean McVay, people say, this kid is so smart, this and the third. So that's one part of it. The second part is all these moving pieces. So you get a quarterback like Jalen Hurts that nobody was as big on and thought that he would succeed. True. And he said, I'll take him and I'll make sure he'll be well. He'll be good. And he was good, right? And then the last part is all the different coordinators. Listen, I'll tell you what. I was a really good player in any system, any scheme. That's just God gifted, less talent, right? But it's hard to just be good in all systems. That's you know what I'm saying? Because some coaches don't like the way you do this. Some coaches don't like the way you do that. And for somehow, some way, Nick Sirianni had so many different coordinators, and it didn't matter. Yeah. We're going to the bowl. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to the NFC Championship game. And then the last part is when we talk about superstar players, it's hard to deal with all of them. That's what I'm saying. He want to do this. He want to do that. I don't like this call. I don't like that call. I want to read a book. I don't want to read a book. And he found a way to monetize all that. Yep. That's it. That's not it. And the last thing is, when I look at the Niners, I don't see no Super Bowl in their path. They're not really wrong, because I don't know everything, but I don't see it. The Rams, now last year, they proved me a little bit wrong at the end. Yeah.
right? At the end, they proved me wrong. And I think going forward, they made some moves in the off season. Like, okay, I could potentially see in them. I can see some Super Bowl in a path, right, going forward. But for the Eagles, if a person on TV or somebody in your neighborhood say, I can't see the Eagles going back to the NC Championship game or a Super Bowl, they are a liar and they are lying. And that gives a lot of credit to Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, and I agree, like I said.
Thank you for agreeing.
And,
Thank you for agreeing.
Really quick with Chase, man, because, you know.
What's up, man?
You come up here and you try to put the wool over our eyes with your tears. What you talking about? And not pick a coach, man. Pick a coach, number one. Right. Pick a coach. Nick Sirianni or Sean McVay. That's it. It's one of them.
Oh, this is I like this guy. I like that guy. You don't like only one. That's 20% of the coaches in the NFL.
We all looking right now like
only 2 more coaches. Put the pressure on it, please.
I think all those coaches are in the top tier of coaching. And you can say disrespectful, you can say this, that, another.
There's 16 NFC teams.
Yeah.
That's 6 of 16.
If I'm starting a team.
That's 40% of the NFC coaches.
So you're not going to control your show? You're going to control your show or not?
Completely. What's wrong with having 6 coaches in the top tier?
He's in the top 40%?
Yeah. He's one of the top coaches in the NFC.
But that's almost half the coaches in the NFC.
Is Nick Sirianni the best coach in the NFC? And you gave us 6 coaches.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? I think it's a chase. Can I ask one question, though? Because I hate what you're doing, but I love you. Right? How can Nick Sirianni be in the same conversation of everybody else other than Sean McVay? No, I'm being serious, though.
Me too.
First of all, he can absolutely be in the same conversation with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, since 2019, has been to 2 Super Bowls and 2 NFC Championship games, all sorts of type of rosters. He has not won a Super Bowl. I get you. He absolutely deserves to be in the same.
Wait, time out, Chase.
He absolutely deserves to be in the same
hold on. Okay. Chase, you talk like he won something.
I get that. I'm saying in general, a bet like I would say with Sirianni, right? Like I like Sirianni.
I can't tell you. I can't tell yet. I can't tell yet.
I just gave a huge quote about how he kept the team together.
You kept him there with Kevin O'Connell, who's a phenomenal man.
Won Coach of the Year with Sam Darnold.
So did Brian Dable won Coach of the Year, right?
It doesn't matter. So it's just
it's not the same as Super Bowl.
You just voted on it.
I'm just saying Kevin Stefanski won it twice.
I believe all those coaches I have on my tiers, they've done a really good job of maximizing the talent that they have on their roster. I would say the Eagles roster is without a doubt the best roster that he's had the past 3 or 4 years.
And so have the Niners.
So he's done well with it.
And that's it. And I knew he was going to.
Not last
year. When they were having success.
When they were having success.
I'm saying not last year.
But I'm saying when they were having success like the Eagles, the roster was great. Everybody said, all right, the roster was great.
Shanahan is in the tier.
But you didn't win, though.
He didn't win. And I love Kyle.
I'm saying,
but not only that, they were in overtime away.
But if your tier was those 3, respect the bag.
I thought you liked that I put LaFleur.
I mean, I like my Packers, but LaFleur shouldn't be on there right now when we're talking about Sirianni. With all due respect.
One of the best head coaches.
We think he's not when you're talking about Sirianni, though. You know what I'm saying?
If you break those tiers up into that's fine. I mean, that's who I believe that I want to start a franchise.
How about this? Okay, because I'm on TV, I'm learning how to ask different questions to get different results.
Yes, sir.
You're growing.
Right.
I'm trying to grow.
You live in San Diego, right?
SD, baby.
If you don't tell me one coach, we're taking your keys and you cannot leave. Tell us if you had to
leave in LA.
If you had to pick one coach, and if you don't pick it, you can't leave. I mean, you can't see your kids, you can't see your wife, you can't see that nice big house you got.
If I had to pick one coach, it's Sean McVay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's all I've been trying to get you to say.
Have a conversation around these head
Chase, no.
I told you.
The question wasn't let's have a conversation about the best coach. It's
I can't, and I wanted to be respectful to Sirianni because I think he's one of the best coaches in the UFC. But so it's a different way of saying, hey, these are who I think.
But it's okay saying he's the best.
But it's also fair. I like what you said, though, in regards to it's fair to say Sean McVay's the best. No, there's several arguments. Sean McVay being the best. It'd be hard to convince anybody that Shanahan's the best.
I disagree with that. I think he's up there with Sirianni.
But I didn't say up there.
I give the Super Bowl's the tiebreaker, sure.
That's my point.
But the sustained success over the long term, right? Sirianni has done it for 4 years. He's been to the playoffs each of the first.
But here's the difference, right? I like this conversation, and we're talking about the Niners next, so it's all the same anyway. They'll flow into the next one. Kyle Shanahan has low lows. 4-win season lows, 5-win season lows. He has low lows. Sirianni's lowest, though only 4 years to Chase's point. I'll try to play devil's advocate while I'm also trying to advocate for the Angels simultaneously. Nick Sirianni's lowest low is when make the playoffs. Make the playoffs. So like, I love Shanahan.
What did they lose 6 in a row last season?
It was a year they went down. Whatever. Yeah, like
playoffs.
That's the lowest low. So the reason for me that Sirianni has now differentiated himself. If you asked me this question last year, I would have said Kyle Shanahan is the best or second best coach in football. He got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and not only that though, like Kyle Shanahan's not in the AFC. He's in the NFC. We beat you and beat down your quarterback. And I've been to 2 Super Bowls since I got this head coaching job in the NFC, which means I got to go through you. And I won a Super Bowl.
I won it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, he can't even be in the conversation with him. And if we say who's the better offensive play caller, that's a whole different As a head coach of a football team, to be honest with you,
one of the few
he
that
can't be in there with Sirianni.
Which I actually agree with now. The way the game's going, to be a CEO coach is much more difficult to put your stamp on the team because you're not calling offensive plays and you're not calling defensive plays. So that makes what Sirianni has done that much more impressive.
And I think you would give him a little bit more credit if you knew a little bit more about the Eagles. Because when I say that, you always bring that back to like, yo, he doesn't really call plays. He doesn't have a lot. And he is really involved.
I'm just saying, I'm giving him his credit because I think it's harder to be a CEO.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if you sat down with Saquon, right? You sat down with A.J. Brown, and even sat down with Jalen, they'll tell you he has a lot to do with the offense.
I think this year it'll be even more.
Because if you think about it, if you look at all the coordinators, they all are different, right? All the ones that Jalen Hurts had.
They all do a lot of the same stuff.
But when you come to Philadelphia, you do the same stuff. Because that lets you know that, yo, that's not your offense, that's not your offense. That's Nick Sirianni's offense. Nick Sirianni's offense.
Good point.
You get what I'm saying? So he doesn't get enough credit for having an influence on the offense.
Yep. And he doesn't get enough credit for moving on quickly. You know, some people let things linger if it's bad. Sirianni, Brian Johnson, you're not working out. Okay, we got to part ways. Sean Desai, defensive coordinator, I'm going to fire you in the middle of the season. Matt Patricia, you not working out. I'm getting rid of you too. And now I got Big Fangio going on. Like, think about Sirianni. He don't do the stuff other coaches. They'll linger around with the bad OCs for years and years. That's my comment. They'll linger around with bad OCs for year after year after year. And boys, like, hey, if it ain't working, you got to.
I think a key figure in that whole situation to be able to move on that fast is Howie Roseman doesn't get enough credit.
Of course.
But based on what he does, right? Like when Chip Kelly took over, he went, to the side and he's back on. And the roster that Howie has given Nick and the way that Nick and Howie work together, it's
Last question really quick. Who's the worst team in football right now? Jets,
Patriots, Saints.
Okay, so let's say the Saints. Let's just take the Saints. No. Let's just say the Saints. All right. Come on. Nick Sirianni or Sean McVay, if they were on the Saints right now, who takes them first?
Sean McVay.
Why?
Because I believe, Sean McVay offensively will take them further than the command.
I think Sean.
Is that basically you saying that McVay's a better coach?
Yes.
Who takes it
Nick
first?
Sirianni, sir. Because he's going to have a big influence on the offense, stuff they talking about.
It depends on who you hire.
And he's going to have something to do with the defense. Because we all talk about how Vic did so great of a job, right? I did watch Vic go to Miami and didn't look good.
Vic did a great job.
Vic did a great job.
I don't think so.
Trying to take the
I don't think. Hold on, hear me out for a second. The same one that I seen Mahomes never have a problem with Vic. Never. Can't wait to play. Vic, you so good. Can't wait to play you. But you come to Philadelphia and he looked flawless. And we're going to give him all the credit. That's my thing. It's like, we'll give him all the credit. Yeah, and Nick Sirianni had nothing to do with that.
I don't think so.
No, I think we're giving him too much credit with that.
Hold up. I think as a head coach, I think Nick, Kyle. Nick Sirianni got in that room. And let's talk, Vic. Let's talk, because you ain't just flawless.
I'm sure
Because your career ain't just been flawless. You've been good, though. So let's sit down here and let's talk about this thing. Okay, that's what you want to do. That's what I like to hear that. I don't like that.
So we give you Sirianni.
Well, I need you to.
No, but he gets some of that credit.
Answer that same question.
I was saying that because obviously my initial answer was McVay because of the offensive mind and all that McVay is. So I would take McVay, but I choose him as the best coach in the NFC. So I just wanted to see what.
But you see how you're only talking about offense?
No, I'm just.
Sirianni has a lot to do with offense, but also with the defense part of things. With things he just said, when things don't go right, we fire.
But even the last 2 years, McVay and the young defense has played well, and they made the
both of them dudes.
Not a lot of talent in the roster.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.
Me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I.
For all of of the above, it's back to school at Target.
Stuff that they're not comfortable with, then you're doing the same thing I told you to do as defense players. You make the cornerbacks tackle, then you make the safeties cover. Why do it to your own self? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We do it to our own self.
Put stress on our own body. Yeah.
Get our fan base, get on and say, oh man, they garbage. But if you play them right, you won't even hear nothing about it. So, like I said, man, we're going to lead, and I think leading through the offensive line, Schottenheimer is trying to take pressure off of Dak. And I like one thing Schottenheimer is they've been trying to lead in him. It's actually that he's going to go as far as Dak going to go. They keep talking about Dak's the leader and all that. But every question, Schottenheimer deflects that question to the team. Because he knows that there's too much pressure on Dak.
Too much.
And I know people think about the salary, man, quarterback, that's just how the position is.
Say it again.
Say
it again.
That's just the nature. This is the nature of the position.
If the house, if house is going for $300,000, guess what? I don't care how much you complaining. It's going for $300,000.
That's what houses cost.
That's how much. That's how much they cost. That's the going market. Y'all complain about you complain about the wrong thing. You complain to the market. And that's
that's just our position phase. And listen, he should. If you look at it that way, and this is what he probably said. And I hate that I want to get into this, but listen, if that's on the position page, and you on the highest value team in the biggest market when it comes to NFL, hell, you should still get paid the most.
Some people don't make no sense sometimes, man. Like, we forget at the end of the day they are entertainers.
Yeah.
You know,
and you on the biggest stage. You on the stage that said, well, I was talking about the Cowboys that said, we are flash, we are spotlight on the sun.
Hey, he said we the spotlight on the sun. Hey, dog.
We're the spotlight on the sun. So listen, when you on that stage, why should you be? And I guess that's what all the players saying. Listen, and I'm on the biggest stage, the most media attention, you the highest value. I should get the biggest salary. That's how the market rolls.
That's how the market rolls. You're right, man. Listen. That's the whole reason why we made this show, everybody. It was a great show. The premise of this show is to drill it to Cowboy Nation. Because boss is right. Your voice matters. Funny enough, that's why I blame y'all for almost everything right now. Because you need to understand that the whole premise of what Shotty is saying, that this game is not on CD's shoulders. This game is not on George Pickens' shoulders, and it's not on your quarterback's shoulders either. Matter of fact, we're the only fan base that believe that. We have other quarterbacks that are better than Dak, but I guarantee you, when the going gets tough, you don't see them teams put the game all the way on their shoulders. My biggest example of this is the Buffalo Bills last year in the AFC Championship game. Even though they lost, I'll never forget this drive. The Kansas City came down and scored, or they got pinned deep down their own 10-yard line, field position battle. They lost it, and you know what they did? Here go the commentators like, oh, what is Josh Allen gonna do? 17's going out there, he's making all that money. You know, they all the narratives. What did the coordinator do? Ran the ball all the way, all them 90 yards. Ran the ball all them 90 yards. And that was somebody who won the MVP. That was somebody who won the MVP. The coach said, no, let's stay. We're gonna need you, 17. You are a Superman. We just don't need your cake now. We are going to, in order for us to be more dangerous, you need to have your guys there with you. This is the ultimate team game. You are a more dangerous team than you will ever be a more dangerous player. Say that again. You're gonna be a more dangerous team than you'll ever be a more dangerous player. Say
that again. I think you need to. the greatest team sport in the history of sports. And Lou, you know something, and fans out there, I don't care what you do. There's two things you can't do with football. You cannot individualize football.
Oh, you can't. Oh, everybody say he won
Now,
it by himself.
the media has done that to promote it, and I understand. They do that so they can promote whatever, this and that. But when it comes down to football, you cannot individualize football. And the second thing you can't do, you can't take away the physicality of the sport, because it's the essence of what makes the sport. You can have all these knockoffs. You can have flag football leagues. You can have fantasy football leagues that